my hair. At one point, I was waiting for the feeling of you have sinned against the Lord and now you're gonna die. Hey PGs, welcome to my corner or welcome back to my corner. As usual, you know the drill. I love sound a drop on a chair. I love that you are here. And so we're gonna dive into this week's destination. And as you can see from the caption, we're talking about how I cut my hair. My hair. I cut my hair. I cut my hair. I cut off my glory. If you have not yet subscribed, and you're sitting here watching the video, subscribe. Subscript. Okay? Subscript. Right. Disclaimer, remember that this is my story. This is what happened to me. This is what happened between me and the Lord. And I'm just sharing what happened. Cool? Cool. So in 2020, after leaving my job, we're now in probably about March or April. I'm on the road. I remember I was doing a delivery and I'm on the road and here comes this thought out of nowhere. You should cut your hair. Absolutely not. What is this? What is this? What? Cut your hair? Mm-mm. No. No. No, we're not gonna do that. Move along. Thought is back. Cut your hair. You should cut your hair. And I'm saying no. But I'm also now saying, why? Is something wrong with my hair? I even went to the extreme where I'm like, maybe something gonna happen, I'm gonna lose my hair and I'm being prepared. Listen, Jesus. Why should I cut my hair? Nothing wrong with my hair. There's absolutely no reason I should just take something and cut off my hair. It's going nowhere. So I said to the person that I was there with, I'm like, I feel like I should cut my hair. But then I was saying I'd cut the sides because the sides were thin. The back had a part that needed no relationship with the rest of the hair. It was like, no, I'm gonna stay by myself. Just leave me alone. I'm going to my room. Leave my door closed. I don't want you in here. Okay. So I'm saying maybe that's why I should cut it. Maybe, I'm like, yeah, maybe me here I tell me say, me need like a treatment. So cut it. All right. I said it to her, we laughed, and she said, well, if you cut yours, me cut mine. Because mine I go to. And we joked about it, moved along. I paid this thing no man because what? Okay. Going about my business. I'm moving along in life. Time is passing by. And occasionally here comes the cut your hair. Occasionally here comes the cut your hair. And I'm like, no, I won't cut my hair. No, I am not I need my hair to be long and I need my hair to grow. Mm-mm. But I don't need my hair to fall off. And I don't need any of my hair to not cut me hair, don't come on me here with no scissors, don't play with me hair like you clip me hair. Don't do that. Okay? Me not cut my hair and my hair not fit. Me don't want my hair to drop off. Not like that. But why is this thought coming to me now? This is not in a time where I wasn't really so close yet to the Lord, like to say, Lord, why am I having this thought? And I am processing this on my own and I'm trying to figure out why I have this thought of cutting my hair. It's not going anywhere. I am now thinking, okay, let me process pros and cons. Maybe if I cut my hair, everything will now be on one level, and I could probably just, since it's gonna be low, just shave the parts that are thin and just tell them, listen, grow. When you shave, hair grow back. So I'm like, yeah, maybe I should do that. what's the negative side if I cut it? And I'm thinking, what would the people at church think? What would my mother think? How would I look? How, remember, I just left my job. People already thought I was crazy. They didn't say it, but I'm pretty sure, based on some comments and based on some questions, I'm pretty sure people thought this girl gone cuckoo. Now imagine me just leaving my job, just like, oh, I left my job. And at this point, I'm not giving any explanation to anybody because remember, don't say nothing. And I'm out. I'm like, "Yeah, anybody asked? You left. It was just time to leave my job. It was just time. I'm not giving no explanation. God told me. I'm so people know seeing me at home. Oh, Mickey left her job, And I'm no like, I'm gonna cut my hair. No, you can't tell me that after me walk out with my head, with my hair cut. People weren't going to think, I me tell you, should I get help here? And I can see it. See it? Oh, she gone. So I'm processing all the pros, all the cons, what could go right, what could go wrong. Still, I'm not thinking anything about this might be the Lord telling me to cut my hair because why would He? I grew up in church, apostolic. I grew up in church. The woman's hair is her glory. If you grew up in a church, you hear this. Cutting your hair as a Christian is a no-no. But I couldn't shake the thought. I couldn't shake the thought and I couldn't shake the feeling. So I am doing the weighing. Still not thinking anything other than it just being a thought and trying to process as a natural hair person and somebody who has never cut her hair, maybe I just need a trim. Maybe I just need to give my hair some TLC. This would be the first time I'm taking a pair of scissors to my hair. I've never clipped, cut, nothing. All right. So now I'm like, okay, let me try to see if I can get mommy's view on it, but not saying so much like, I'm going to cut my hair. So I said, me think you need to cut me hair because the sides and the whatever. Now, getting mommy's view is also getting the church's view because mommy is in the church. So I'm getting two in one. It's like I'm running a poll. So I said it, I looked at her face. Mommy may not necessarily say what she thinks, but her face is going to give her away. So I said it, and I saw the, like, why would you think of cutting your hair? But she's never ever going to say, don't do that, or you're going to hell. Mm-mm. But I can read her face to know that she's probably not too comfortable with that thought. But she knows I'm an adult. It's not like you can tell me if you not do it and me just not gonna do it. Cool. So I'm seeking approval from mommy, and I think I also mentioned it to somebody else who I thought would be, cool enough to understand that I'm not crazy. There's this thought that I'm trying to process, and do you think I should cut my hair because the sides are this? Do you think I should cut my hair because, again, I'm not going to think I'm getting opinions over God because this thought of it being God is nowhere near here. But I kept dwelling on the sides are, and there's a piece at the back that said, I'm going to my room, close the door. I don't want my sisters in here. Leave me alone. So it's just by itself around there. Non grow, non budge. So I'm saying if I use a razor there, it will, how hair is. It will tease the hair, the scalp, and say, here, grow. I'm processing why a girl who always thought, do not cut my hair, do not play around my hair with scissors, I don't want my hair to drop out, is now thinking, cut your hair. We are now in 2022, and this thought is just not going anywhere, and it's coming back more frequently and stronger. What is this? And the more it happens, is the weaker I'm getting to the thought of not doing it. Now I'm at the point where I'm going into Corinthians to read what Paul said about the woman's hair and the woman's hair being a glory, because I've seen it and I've heard it where women, it's almost like if you don't have long hair, you don't have enough glory. I see people get to the point where they're vain with their hair, like, look at all this glory. So I'm now reading because I'm trying to find out if I cut my hair, am I sinning? Because at the end of the day, no, I'm not gonna just run with the thought and well, me feel like cut it or whatever. Nope. So I want to know, am I going to be offending God? Am I going to be sinning against God if I take scissors or whatever and cut my hair? So I'm now going into Corinthians and I'm reading. I'm reading and I'm reading and I'm trying to find the sin in cutting my hair. And I'm now internalizing and processing the concept of the woman's hair being her glory. And I'm saying, okay, the verse does say it's a shame for a man to have long hair, but for the woman to have long hair, it's a glory to her. But then I started processing. And at this point I said, Lord, is cutting the hair a sin? And I'm doing all this research. I'm doing all this research, but at the same time, I have to remember that researching and getting people's opinion on the scripture can be subjective. So I'm researching, and this is probably the first time I did a deep dive in a particular scripture in the Bible, like deep dive to get an understanding. And now I'm starting to ask God to show me. No, I'm never reached to it. So may I read it, and I'm now in the middle. I am okay. I should cut it. It may be wrong to cut it. I am back processing. There's no, I don't like your struggle for comb your hair. I don't have an issue combing my hair. I'll style and comb my hair. No problem whatsoever where hair combing my hair is concerned. I don't have no issue with that. Managing my hair is fine. No problem with that. Why do you want to cut your hair? Again, brush it off, moving along. And every time it come back stronger, stronger. So here I am again. And I'm back. I keep reading the chapter every time. I keep trying to find any verse on hair and cutting your hair, and it's taking its time now to become a. What if it's God telling you to cut your hair? What if I gotta tell you to cut your hair? I mean, he told you to leave your job. It wouldn't be that weird for him to tell you to cut your hair. But then I'm like, but why would God tell me to cut my hair when Paul said? So now I'm having this God versus Paul conflict. God, the word. Why would God tell me to cut my hair when the Bible says don't cut your hair? So I went back in the Bible to look if the Bible said don't cut your hair. I'm doing all of this piecing to try to. I'm not going to make such a drastic decision on what I think. So I'm back in there and I'm checking. Did Paul say don't cut your hair? If I cut my hair, so I'm now doing this. Okay, the woman's hair is her glory. Is it really about the length of the hair, or just woman having hair that's longer than a man's hair? Listen, let me tell you something, a process, you know. And then I said, okay, but what about people who naturally have short hair? Does it mean that they don't have glory, or they don't have the same amount of glory? What about people who get sick and have to cut off the hair? What about people whose sickness causes them to not have hair? There are people with alopecia. Does it mean that they don't have glory? I am processing. And I'm now at the point where I'm thinking about motive and intention. And I'm now asking myself, why are you cutting your hair? Is it because you feel like cutting your hair gives you some superpower? What is your reason for cutting your hair? And when I did that, I said, this could very well be the Lord telling me to cut my hair because I had no reason. I had no intention, and I most certainly did not want to cut my hair. I said, God, pick somebody else. When I realized, I said, pick somebody else. Me not cut my hair. Cause why? My Lord took me back to faith, and He took me down the path of obedience. And He did that with Abraham, Noah, Jonah. There was one other person. Don't remember right now. And so now I'm studying these chapters. Not studying, but looking at their obedience and what they were asked to do. And when I got to Abraham, I said, the Lord asked Abraham to murder his son. No, he didn't murder his son, which is fine. But what he's asking me to do is not a sin. This is not a sin. And also, I got to the point where I said, well, if it comes down to God or Paul, I'm going to go with God. And this is me now starting to grasp the idea that this is God telling you to cut your hair. So when I got there, I now had to cross the hurdle of why. Is this about obedience? Is this about letting go? Is this about being a new woman? Is this about show me that you trust me? When I tell you I was trying to reason this thing out, please understand, I'm not saying that these things were all right or wrong. I'm saying this is what was happening in my head. Why? I am back on the struggle bus now. Move from who telling me to cut my hair, and I'm now trying to figure out the why. Mickey always I try to figure out the why that our problem. But if I'm being honest, my major concern was church. How is it going to look? I'm sure I'm breaking the rules. Hmm. 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 We're getting further down in the year, and I'm getting closer to this. I did the clipping. I clipped my hair, survived it. It grew back. When the thought came again, I did another clipping. That never helped. So every time I clip it a little lower because I'm trying to see if when I go low, he go high. Anyway, I'm trying to see if when I go low, he's gonna go lower. Okay? It never work. So now we're at the point where Mickey needs to cut her hair. Mickey needs to cut her hair. But I still never did the full surrender. In November 2022, specifically November, the exact day was November 20, 2022. I had just done my morning worship and I wasn't, I knew what I read and I knew what, but I never paid attention. Anyway, after devotion, I said to the Lord, Lord, no, back up. When I realized I needed to cut my hair and it was God, my phone didn't want to cooperate. And I said, Lord, if I'm going to cut my hair, not to be disrespectful to you, I would want to record this moment. And I think I kind of said to God, if you just make my phone work, I cut me hair. I'll make try with the phone now work. This particular Sunday morning, I'm having my devotion, and after that, I went to watch a sermon, and I'm watching the sermon, and here comes the thought again, cut your hair. And I'm like, yeah, I already said I'm gonna cut my hair, so I'm gonna do it. This is me reasoning with myself. I said, you cut my hair, I'm gonna do it. I'm watching the sermon, and this sermon is going in my business. Anyway, I said, Lord, as soon, as soon as the phone start work, if you, I'm saying this, I'm saying this, but it was almost like a phone not gonna work, so now cut me here. It was like a little disrespectful, Abe. At the end of the devotion and the thing I was watching, I had a moment of total surrender. You hear me? It turned into worship. It turned into me just like, Lord, I'm gonna do what you say. Whether the phone want to do it or not, but I'm still gonna try the phone. And I got up, and when I tell you this was a moment of, it was almost like I was creating an altar. Every single thing that I used was consecrated. My comb, my brush, the scissors, everything. It was I don't know. Anyway, I was like, let me just try see if the phone will work. Press the button, phone turn on. And I remembered when I said, Lord, if the phone works, I'm gonna, and I just set up the phone at the same time because it had a tendency to just go on, off, on, off. Phone came on, set it up, have all my things ready. I'm like, Lord, do you think I don't know how me cutting my hair turned into a worship session? But brother, and I'm there and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm setting up on going, even the rubber bands that I used to section off my hair, I consecrated them. Olive oil them down. You hear me say? And I'm there and I'm cutting, I'm putting in the rubber bands and I'm twisting up my hair and I'm now ready to cut. I ensured I did this when mommy was not at home because I knew I didn't want me never want no distraction, no negativity, no negative vibes. Me just want to do what me have to do. Because at this point now I know what I need to do. And I didn't care at this point who cared. I didn't. It didn't matter to me who would think that I was being sinful or I didn't care how I would look. None of that crossed my mind. None of that was in my mind. It was just a moment between me and the Lord, and I was just in it. I got my scissors and I pulled the first one and I clip it. I wasn't sure how I'd feel, and I make sure I clip it from the middle first, because like if anything, we can cover it up back. I clipped it, and I cannot explain to you how I felt when I clipped the hair and the first piece came in my hand. One man said, "Look on the camera." Not a record, never press. At that point, not even really important. I just got the inkling to check the camera, press record, back to it. I cut my hair. I started cutting, and all I could feel was relief, peace. All I could feel was peace in the moment. And I went through and I cut and I cut and I cut. I used the rubber band to try to as a guide. So when I was finished, I was like, okay, let me just style the sides. Leave here higher, since the sides or whatever. Let me just shave down, go down the sides and whatever. The Lord said, I know salon you there. Stay on track. Get back to the moment of this being like a worship. So I said, okay. So I left it at a little height, we still could have comb it. The Lord said, cut your hair, brother, sister, friend. At this point, the elastic band them come out, you know. So I have no guide. And I just like cut it. And I'm hurrying up before church over because me know mommy can see me cutting. I don't want her to come and it don't cut. Because me don't want nothing for. Let me start feeling like me do something wrong or whatever. Cut my hair. And I just sat there looking in the mirror, feeling at peace, and feeling like me look for myself. Like me I see the face for the first time. Like me I see, me don't know. Me don't know. All I know is it was a beautiful moment between me and the Lord, and that's all that mattered. I cut my hair. I cutted my hair, did. And I was honestly at one point I was waiting for the feeling of you have sinned against the Lord and now you're gonna die. Peace. And as I finished that, I went and I washed my hair and look in the mirror. Now there's no hair on my head that I can comb. And I'm now like, oh, you don't look bad. You don't look bad out here. But I was just like, all I'm feeling now is peace. Peace. That's all I'm feeling. And I washed it, left it, and I'm not gonna lie, me that enjoy them. Wash every day, dry in 5 minutes. Loved it. But Mickey being Mickey and Mickey go play with her hair. By the same night, I'm trying to find hair to finger coil. I saw it name finger coil. When I find hair for finger coil, I don't know, but it work. I'm trying to, so by the night now, I'm like, try finger coil hair or something. Because I've always been fascinated with hair. I always like comb hair. I always like comb hair. So me I always try something. So me having short hair for the first time, I could try do something with it. And that I did. I kept waiting for the you're going to hell feeling. Just peace. That same day, when I tell you, that's when divine download started. This the very same day. That day, and and the posts, some of the posts on the earlier posts on the Hey Purpose Girl page, they all came from the haircut. They were inspired by me cutting my hair. I said to a friend of mine, I don't know, but I cut my hair, and all these downloads are just running in. I mean, I don't know if to do with them, so I just started recording them because I feel like one day I'm gonna need to share these, and I started saving them in my email drafts. And that particular day, this is what the Lord gave me. This was when I started this understanding that the Lord was speaking to me, giving me these things. And so I decided to just record. And on November 20, the day I cut my hair, I got letting go slash obedience. Becoming requires you to be willing to let go. Be obedient to God's voice without needing the approval of others. Some, or maybe everyone, won't get it. It's hard to make tough decisions and not have the support of those closest to you. But spoiler alert, you may be required to do something so unorthodox that absolutely no one will get it. And it will make no sense you try to explain it. Are they supposed to, though? That is getting it. I mean, it's your journey, and your journey looks different from theirs. It's your encounter, and that will be different from theirs. It's your instructions from God, and that won't be the same for others. Besides, sometimes it will only cause doubts. Just get in position, just get in position, put your obedience to the test, and take the leap. See what happens. What's the worst that could happen? At the time I recorded this, I just recorded it because that's what I got. I took no further thought as to how it will be shared when I just know I got it, and one day I may need to share it and I need to write it down. And I remember that God always told me that I should record, and I never used to do it. Which, if I was doing that now, I would have so much more to share because I can't remember some of the things. But hey, you live and you learn. So this one, I make sure I start recording. And every day after that, I have number 21, 22, 23. 24 every day after that, it was always a divine download. November 22 was be proud of decisions you've made to become your best self. Don't be ashamed or afraid to stand by your choices. And I have what happened where I noted that. And so I was just share when I decided to do the Hey Purpose Go, and the Lord was like, time to share, which wasn't supposed to be posts, but hey, I could come back to this. I had the captions written, I had everything there. But remember, this is me. This is maybe it's not the norm to just cut your hair as a woman, but there was a reason God wanted me to cut mine, and I had to just obey, regardless of what it would look like, regardless of how I thought I would look. I had to just do what I knew God was telling me to do. Did it cause chatter? It sure did. There were, but those I don't care. Not that I don't care, but I don't care what you think. If I'm doing what I know I'm supposed to do, I'm not going to pay you any mind. So I did what I needed to do. And I said that part to say you're going to probably end up doing things that are unorthodox or maybe against the rules. And you're going to have to defend that because you're doing it for. You can't care. Because if you care, you're going to end up pleasing man and not God. Just saying. I don't know what God has called you to do, is calling you to do, or will call you to do. It may not be something as extreme as cutting your hair. It may not be something that you have an issue doing, as in you're okay with just going ahead with it. It may be something that is going to be against rules. I know it sounds bad because it's like I'm saying, so you don't care that the church you're doing something against the church. If I didn't care, I would just cut it right away. But then when you get to the point where you understand that this is God, what you gonna do? So I don't know if you're going through that now, if you will go through it. All I can tell you from my experience is if God says, that's all you have to stand on. That's all you're going to have to work with. God said so. He told me to, and so I'm doing. If you've already done it and you're experiencing chatter and you're probably feeling ostracized for your decision, God told you. And you just need to hold on to that. Pleasing Him. When I realized that this is the destination we're gonna go on today, I said, Lord, help me not to say anything based on how I feel or to address anything that I may want to address. Let me just speak what you want me to speak and leave it there. And that's what I'm doing. Do what pleases the Lord. No, there are certain things that may require you to say to someone, this is happening, Lord is telling me to do this. And you may hear, no, you can't. You still have to decide. Am I sinning against God by doing this thing? I'm breaking the rules, but am I sinning against God? God is telling me to do this thing. For me, what that did when I started to do the deep dive in Corinthians for that particular the, the verses relating to the hair and the woman's hair being her glory. That put me on a path to reading for myself, to understanding the Bible with the help of the Holy Spirit, and not just because I hear something, not just because I feel like I'm right. That's when that started. And after that, now the Lord will give me all these chapters. What I love is reading the Bible is cool. Reading the Bible is fun. If you read the Bible for fun, kudos to you. If you read the Bible because you want to finish the Bible in 1 year, kudos to you. I love when the Lord sends me in a chapter, sends me in a verse. So outside of your regular reading my regular reading in devotion or going through chapters, trying to get, you know, the word in, I love when He says here, there, because then it's almost like you're trying to show me something, or you're sending me somewhere, and I know for a fact you're going to take me through it. Love it. And that studying that I had to do, when me tell you, me deep dive, because I wanted to be sure I was making the right decision, not just for me and my hair health, but I, at the end of the day, want to please God and being respectful to certain rules and certain practices that are set in the body of Christ where you worship also shows that you respect and honor God. So you're not going to outright just, well, God tell me you're not lucky. No. So I wanted to read. And when I tell you that it was the best thing ever, so now I'm reading more. I'm seeking God more. I try to understand His word from His view, what He tells me, not what I feel, not what I hear, but never ever actually check for myself. All I'm saying at the end of the day, know what matters and know who matters. Who do you want to please? Who are you listening to? It's okay to consider. It's okay to weigh the pros and cons. It's okay to weigh who versus who, because I was weighing Paul versus God. Like, okay, Paul said, and Paul is in the Bible, the Holy Scriptures, the inspired word. What God is saying. And we always hear and we know God cannot contradict Himself. So I had to study to ensure that I wasn't doing something thinking I was right when I was wrong. I had to do that. So you can do that for yourself. Seek the Lord in whatever He's telling you to do. If you're not clear on it, if it makes you feel like you're doing something wrong, seek Him. Seek Him. And if he's sending you down a path, He's gonna show up and He's gonna tell you what to do, how to do it. So that in the end, you're pleasing Him. You're doing what He asks you to do. You're doing it in a way that pleases Him. So, as per usual, thank you so much for coming along. Thank you for sitting through the entire journey of this destination. If you pause, make sure you come back. Okay. It's a warm feeling for me when you keep coming back, when you engage. I like when you engage. I like the comments. And when you watch, if anything resonates with you, share down the bottom so we can continue the conversation. So we can talk some more, because we can put 1 10-hour video here, so we can continue down below in the comments. Maybe there's something I forgot and I can drop it down there. Because me like the comments. Me like when we talk. You pull up your chair, you listen. Look, finish talk before you go away. And again, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. Check out my latest blog post. The link will be in the description. You read them. Check out the blog post. When you go to the site, sign up for my email list so you can get updated when we post a new one. And look at encouragement and say, enough write me right, when you got to give me them, drop them, because I feel like it can inspire somebody. And again, I'm just trying to walk in obedience and do what he tells me to do. So visit the blog, sign up for the email list so you can get notified. And sometimes I send out like devotionals if I'm so led. You can get those too. Sometimes seasoning and shining. Why are you seasoning and shining and keeping it to yourself and not wanting to share it? So feel free to share the video. There may be someone who can benefit from it. You never know who needs an encouragement, who is on the journey. I don't know when the persons, whoever will find it, if they have already found it, but I know it's for a reason. So share, subscribe. We never know. Like the video if you like the content. Okay? Thanks for coming along. Come back for the next one. Mark your seat. Don't make nobody sit down in your seat. And then you come and get big and say, come back. No. Mark your seat and people don't sit down in the people in seat. Come back for the next video. We will talk about whichever other destination. Okay? Yeah. We're on a journey. We're going. We're treading. Cool? Cool. Let's go.